Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, a World Alternative Media here, and of course we're joined by author and economic analyst here at WAM, John Sneisen, and get a load of this as Fox Business reports. BlackRock's Larry Fink says cash is killing your investment account, and it's more of that anti-cash sentiment that we've become so used to in the global elite, but this comes out of Davos. The article goes on to say, even though markets have risen globally and in the U.S. in particular, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink raised concerns that many people are on the sidelines and not benefiting from the stock rally. It's my hope that investors worldwide start recognizing that it was bad to be in cash. We had a 3x increase in our equity markets, 3x since the financial crisis. There's more money sitting on the sidelines than we have ever seen at the moment, Fink told Fox Business's Maria Bartiromo on Mornings with Maria in Davos, Switzerland on Thursday. Fink pointed to France as an example of investors overly weighted in cash. And I quote, France has a specific problem and the president and finance minister are trying to address it. 72% of French savings is in a bank account, the BlackRock exec said. Fink sees investing in stocks as a boost to the economy as well. And I quote, if your retirement is a 40-year obligation that you invested in equities over the long horizon, how much more economic vitality would we have seen worldwide? So going into this issue, oh my God, it's a usual sentiment from a globalist, but it's in a way, it's like there's one bad thing that he's talking about. He's like, we got to get out of cash. And then he's like, let's go into like basically stocks and bonds, like the worst thing.
Well, he needs to make money here. That's what, if you look at what is BlackRock, BlackRock is one of the biggest fund managers, is actually the biggest fund manager in the world.
He's desperate. He's like, please raise it, keep buying in, keep putting it up.
Yeah, they're going to have to sell to the stupid idiots that always buy at the top and sell low, right? Now is the time. It seems like now they're getting towards that point where they have, they're trying to exit left and right. Yeah. Like little rats running out of a ship going down. So that's what's happening here. They're getting desperate.
Well, let's get this straight here. The president doesn't have true control over the stock market long term. He might be able to affect it by saying things, but he as an individual doesn't actually have a full term effect on the stock market because the stock market is heavily dependent on like the crazy amount of bankster derivatives, complete manipulation of the markets, the complete manipulation of the monetary system. It really comes down to a banking scheme that has pushed and bubbled up this market to an extent where it just cannot sustain itself any longer. And while everyone's saying it's better than ever, everyone can get into stocks because look, it's like October 1929 all over again, and you know people are rushing to New York to invest.
Yeah, it's like JP Morgan running into the stock floor and saying, I'll buy, X amount.
It's insane. Yeah. It's insane that the tickers are going off the hook. And look, it's all going to come down to the same old insanity that we've seen so many times throughout history. It's all going to come crashing down and a lot of people are going to be poor.
Yeah, but what we're forgetting here also, Josh, is further down the article you started to read about France and how they have 72% of their investments in bank accounts. It's terrible. Why would you have money in your bank account? How many times have we talked about this? Maybe we need to start, having a French show here because it seems like the French don't understand what bank account is. It's not yours. You never own your money. And on top of that, the $100,000 euros that they're supposed to insure. Think about that. I looked at several other countries. They have between 0.39% and maybe up to 1-2% that they actually insure all that 100,000. So many people are going to lose money when a big bank goes down, and that's entails for the French here as well. Meanwhile, you have the desperate BlackRock out there, wanting to make more money because they're running out of people to make money from.
They're in desperation mode.
Yeah, and of course, I'm going to mention what Jim Rickards talked about in his book where he met with Fink and had a dinner with him, and Fink was telling him how the securities actually have told Fink that he needs to actually freeze assets in order to calm markets during the next crash. So that's on top of the banks freezing accounts and so on. Yeah. So just watch out for this because this is the biggest fund manager in the world. We're getting into dangerous territory when you have guys like this talking like this.
Well, let's look at it from this perspective. Back in 1929, a big investor on Wall Street got his shoes shined every single day by the same poor kid. And that poor kid gave him investment advice one day. And he went to his office and he said, pull everything out, sell everything. When a kid starts giving me stock advice, I want out, and this guy's a kid, in my opinion. I mean, look at what he's saying here. He also says Fink sees fear of the future and issues such as the impact of technology as holding people back. You know what's insane about this? This is just trying to push technocracy to the front of the conversation, where we've talked about so many times, like you went into, if your money's in the bank, it's not yours, it's the bank's. And with technocracy, we have centrally planned cashless systems. If your money's in the bank via digital transaction, legal tender laws, it's never your money, it's always the bank's, and you are essentially enslaved to the banking system. And that's what the whole push is towards, especially at Davos, especially with people like Joseph Stiglitz, especially with Kenneth Rogoff, especially with all these insane globalist monsters that are just trying to push forward their debt agenda to enslave people in debt. And look, they are desperate because they want you to buy in, because they are hitting the peak of the mountain and they want to build that ladder up a little bit higher, that stairway to heaven. But you keep climbing and you keep climbing, and eventually you're in outer space and you'll get pulled out by the vacuum.
Eventually, when you climb that mountain behind you guys, when you're in Davos there, you're going to reach the mountaintop, and then on the other side, you have to go down. It's very simple. So just wake up to what's happening here. And what's happening here is that we're going from the big centralized state into decentralization. And that's why they're so afraid and trash talk cryptocurrencies day in and day out currently.
Well, and just look at it like this, that stairway to heaven that they pretend that they have. You just keep climbing. Eventually, you're going to get to the top, and you're going to see a diving board. And that diving board, you jump off of it, and it goes straight to hell, and you will have no choice. And look,
there's no water to land in. There's just rocks in a ravine, and that's all.
Yeah, basically. So let's just be self-sustainable, financially responsible. Don't listen to these idiots. These guys are idiots. This is not financial advice. This is a matter of opinion. But folks, come on. We have history to look back at. We have the charts to look back at, which we've shown countless times before, and it's about time that people start learning from history and stop repeating the same old crazy manipulative nonsense.
Yeah, we'll become self-sufficient here. There's two things that you need to learn from this article. Don't listen to BlackRock's advice when he speaks, and don't listen to the French that are saving in bank accounts. It's terrible, both of the things there.
Hallmarks of freedom itself, self-responsibility, and of course, financial responsibility, self-sustainability. It's so important, folks. Let's keep pushing liberty and freedom to the forefront, and responsibility. You cannot have liberty and freedom without it. So thanks for going into this with us, John. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson and John Sneisen signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Like what you see here at WHAM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so overwhelmingly demonetized and censored by YouTube as the Anti-Defamation League comes in and flags all of our content as hate speech. You can also find me at Josh Sigurdson at steemit.com. That's steemit.com, the future of social media, where you get paid in the upvote of your post via Steem, the cryptocurrency. You can also find our Bitcoin address in the description and the comments below, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And don't forget to come on down to Anarchapulco in Acapulco, Mexico in February, one of the best events of the year, and you can save money on your tickets by typing in promo code WHAM. That's WAM. We'll leave the link below for you, and until next time, don't forget to subscribe. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.